Hello friends and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program that is organized by Shri Gyanmanjay Vidyapit. Welcome to Science by Harsha Ma'am. Now this is the quick recap of whole of the animal tissue. Okay, animal tissues of how many types? It is of 4 types. Which are the 4 types of animal tissue? As shown over here, the 4 basic types of animal tissues are epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue. If we talk about all the 4 types, then epithelial tissues further classified into 5 types, that is squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated and glandular. Coming to muscular connective tissue, muscular animal tissue, it is further bifurcated into 3 types, that is striated tissue, non-striated and cardiac. If we talk about the connective tissue, there are 5 types of connective tissue, which are areolar tissue, dense regular tissue that is further bifurcated as tendon and ligament, adipose tissue, skeletal tissue that is further bifurcated as cartilage and bone. Coming to fluid connective tissue, it is further bifurcated as blood and lymph. Then the nervous tissue. No, as the name is nervous, but it is not at all making us nervous. Okay, so that is about the whole of the animal tissue chart. Now, one by one, we will have a look at all the types of animal tissues. Here is the nervous tissue. We are knowing that all the tissues are made up of cells. In the same way, nervous tissue is made up of nerve cells. Nerve cells are also called as neurons. Nerve cells are also called as neurons. Okay. Then we talked about 3 different types of nervous tissue, that is sensory neuron, connector neuron and motor neuron. These are the 3 types. In that we had the discussion about the motor nerve. Motor nerve, where it is present between the central nervous system and the muscles and glands. What does CNS, that is central nervous system, consist of? Brain and the spinal cord. Then here it is, the diagram of nervous tissue. Each neuron, it is made up of 3 basic parts. What are the 3 parts? Cell body, dendrites and axon. Here it is, you can see the cell body, dendrites and axon. Then next, about the axon, the long outer part that is coming from the cell body, that is called as axon. What is axon? Surrounded by neural lemma, and below it is myelin sheath. The function of myelin sheath is to protect from any kind of mechanical shock. The myelin sheath, it is not continuous. Where it is getting terminated? It is getting interrupted or terminated at the node of Ranvier. It provides an electrical insulation and ultimately it helps in the transmission of nerve impulses. Now the next, the terminators. Where the axon is ending, what it is? The terminal branches. What will they do? They will transmit impulse to the next cell body. And how will they transfer it? In the form of an impulse. Then you are having about this nervous tissue. When neurons, they transmit the impulse, where do they lie? In the end. They lie in such a way that dendrite of neuron lies to the terminal branch of the next neuron here, and the gap between the two particular cell bodies, it is called as synapse. Try to recall, we had done this by using with the help of a video, and in that video you saw that the chemicals were released and these chemicals were being catched by the next cell body. And what is the gap called as? It is called as synapse or synaptic knob. Then next important point about the nerve cells. What does it contain? It contains cyton and dendrites. Then what is the function of the cyton? It is containing the nucleus of the nerve cell. Again, inside the cyton there is group of some ribosomes which is called as nissel granules. The dendrites, these are the branch projections. What does it contain? Nissel granules and neurofibrils. Then there are large dendrites, what it called as dendrons. Okay, read the content once again. Only read it because this is a quick recap. Read all the points one by one will come. From here. Read one by one. Quick. Alright, now next, muscular tissue. What are they called as? Contractile tissue. Why? Because they have the ability to contract and relax and ultimately help in the movement. 40% of our weight, why? It is because of the muscles, and they are responsible for the movement of the body, for change in the size and in the shape of the internal organs. Then next, this is about the muscular fibers. They are long, cylindrical and multinucleated. Then you are having sarcolemma, that is the outer layer over here of the muscle cell. What it is called as? Sarcolemma. Sarcoplasm, there are many, it is filled with tiny thread like myofibrils and myoglobin, that is red colored oxygen binded protein. Then this is how its first type is, that is striated. You can see light and dark patches of the there are light and dark patches and called as striated muscular fiber. This is how it's looking like. So here it is. It forms about 80% of mass of all the soft tissues. Its contraction and relaxation is under the control of the organism, and so it is called as voluntary muscles. How is the shape? Called cylindrical and narrow and branched. Why are they called as striated? Because they are having light and dark bands. Its function is in the locomotion and movement, and inhalation, taking the air inside, exhalation, giving the air outside, the blinking of eyes, and in the voluntary actions and movement of the body. Then next, this is about the muscular fibers. You can see these are the smooth muscle fibers that are running like this. So in the smooth muscle fibers, you can see that these linings are going, and at the center you are having what? You are having nucleus. So they are uninucleated, and the myofibrils are running straight away longitudinally. They have no striations, smooth muscle spindle shapes, and the myofibrils are running. Where are they attached? With all the visceral, that is the feeling organ, that is in the urinary bladder, iris, ciliary muscles. We already know that ciliary muscles are over here, they are holding the eye. Iris controls the amount of light which is entering our eye. Then non-striated muscular fibers. What is its function? In the movement of food through the esophagus, through the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement was opening and closing. Then in the removal of urine and controlling the amount of light that is entering the eye. Next is cardiac muscle. You can see over here where there are two joinings, there is an intercalated disc. Okay, moreover, this is called as cardiac muscles. Generally, it is found near the heart, that is in the superior and inferior vena cava. They have branch fibers which join together, have myofibrils like the smooth muscles, and involuntary muscles that are having striations. In heart, it supports and contract and relaxed without getting fatigue. Then where does it occur? In the superior and inferior vena cava. Where do they lie? In the junction between the two cells, what it is called as intercalated disc. Then the next particular type of tissue, which is connective tissue. Here it is. What is the basic function of connective tissue? It will help in binding, joining the connective tissue and packaging. It is the most abundant tissue that is ever found. Maximum proportion, the tissue which is found is this, which is connective tissue. What its matrix is made up of? Carbohydrates and proteins. Then next, they are classified into three types, that is proper connective tissue, which is areolar, adipose or tensilicular. If we talk about fluid connective tissue, then it is of two types, which is blood and lymph. Coming to the skeletal tissue, where the matrix is solid, it is made up of bones and cartilage. Here it is areolar tissue. બે પણ ટીશ્યુની વચ્ચે જ્યાં બી જગ્યા હોય at that place it will settle out. That is areolar tissue. What does its matrix contains? Its matrix contains white collagen fibers, yellow fibers, fibroblast and macrophage. Its function is to join the skin to the muscles, then connect the blood vessel to the nerves and repair the mechanical stress or damage. Then adipose tissue. These generally store fat. Where are they found? Beneath the skin, around the heart, kidney and as a cushion around the eye. These are shock absorbing tissues. They are used as an insulation against extremely cold situations. For example, as the blubber in whales and hemp in the camels. Then about the bone. Bone, it is a strong, rigid and non-flexible part. What are its cells called as? Its cells are called as osteocytes. These are the hardest cells which are found in the body. What is its matrix made up of? Collagen and inorganic salts. The matrix and osteocytes are arranged in the form of concentric rings around the Haversian canal. Sometimes they contain RBCs red bone marrow for the formation of RBCs. And what are the bones made up of? Calcium and phosphorus. Then comes cartilage, heart blood flexible. What are its cells called as? Chondrocytes. They have no blood vessels or nerves. And where do they occur? At the respiratory duct, near the nose, at the end of the nose, and at the ear pinnae. Then the difference between the bone and cartilage. Read it, then we'll move further. I hope you have read the content that is of bone and cartilage. Now again, the dense regular tissue. Okay, again I am giving you 1 minute time to just analyze the tendon and ligament. You will be able to differentiate between the two just by looking at the diagrams. Okay, quick. Okay, so you were able to say that the white fibers are in straight line parallel bundles arranged over here. Here they are scattered. Then you saw that this fibroblast, they are arranged in a row over here. Here they are scattered. Then yellow fibers are present over here while they are not present over here. Next, about the difference between the tendon and the ligament. These tendons, they are tough and elastic, while ligament, they are strong and flexible. The tendon will join the skeletal to the bone, and ligament, it will join the bones to the bones. Fibroblasts, they are arranged in a row. Here they are scattered. Yellow fibers are absent. Here they are present. White collagen fibers, they are present in the parallel rows, while here they are scattered. Alright. After that, you are having the fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue, the red colored tissue. Mind well, blood is a form of a tissue. Most of the students write blood as a cell. No, blood is a tissue. Remember that it is when coming in the exam, students are making mistakes. 90% of the blood is water, while 10% is what? Nutrients, ions, hormones and nutrients. Then coagulation. From the blood, whenever the liquid part is removed, what it is called as serum. Then it also contains heparin. What it will do? It will retard clotting. It is of three types, that is red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. Then comes lymph. What is lymph? A yellow colored tissue. It does not contain any kind of RBC or platelet. It will trap the microbes and destroy and protect the body against any kind of injury. Okay, so this is about the lymph. Because it is important point, fluid connective tissue, the connective tissue is very important. Let's have a look at all its 5 types again. It is a bit lengthy, so from the beginning we'll see it again. Areolar tissue. Wherever there is place, at that place it will get settled. Then we are having about what does its matrix contain. Its matrix contains white collagen fibers, yellow fibers and fibroblast. We are doing it again because it is bit lengthy. Then it contains fibroblast macrophage that will destroy all the organisms. Read it, read it. Then this, what it will do, it will join the skin to the muscles, then it will connect the blood vessels and the nerves. It will repair the mechanical damage or stress. It will store fat tissue where it is found beneath the skin, around the heart, kidney and as the cushion around the eyes. It is a shock absorbing tissue. It is also providing as an insulation against extremely cold situations, where it is found as the blubber in the whales and hemp in the camels. Skeletal tissue, bone. Okay, in that you are having, it is strong and non-flexible. What are its cells called as? Osteocytes. These are the hardest cells in the body. What its matrix is made up of? Its matrix is made up of collagen fibers. Then comes bone. The matrix and osteocytes, where do they occur? They occur in the form of concentric rings around the Haversian canal. Some bone contains red bone marrow to form the red blood cells. And what are they made up of? Calcium and phosphorus. Here it is, the cartilage. Heart blood flexible. Its cells contains chondrocytes. It has no blood vessels or nerves. And where does it occur? At the respiratory duct, in the ear, pinnae and at the end of the nose. Then this difference. Hard and flexible, porous. The blood vessels are and the matrix is made up of protein and mineral salts. Here, flexible but not hard, non-porous. Blood vessels are absent, and what is the matrix made up of? Only protein. Coming to the dense regular tissue, white fibers are arranged in a row, here they are scattered. Fibroblasts arranged in a row, here they are scattered. Yellow fibers present, here they are absent. Joining bone to muscle, joining bone to bone. Flexible, non-flexible. Alright, this is about the tendon. Read it. Then the fluid connective tissue, which is blood. Blood is a red colored fluid connective tissue. It contains 90% of water and 10% of other things, that is ions, hormones and proteins, nutrients. Then whenever the liquid content is removed from the blood, what it is called as? Serum. It contains heparin, which is helping in the clotting, which retards clotting, and it is of 3 types, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. Then you are having about the lymph. Lymph is a yellow colored tissue. It doesn't contain any kind of red blood cells and platelets. It will trap the microorganisms which are present, and ultimately it will help and protect the body against any kind of infections. Alright. Now, after doing this fluid connective tissue, let's move on the next type of tissue, which is epithelial tissue. Okay, last time when we did this epithelial tissue, we had done little bit less revision. So now today's session, we are going to do, in this quick recap of animal tissue, we are going to do epithelial tissues revision 2 times. Alright, epithelial tissue. What happens? What it is doing? It is maintaining the outer covering. Where does it lie on? It lies on an extra layer. And what is that extra layer called as? That extra layer is called as the basement membrane. What is the basement membrane made up of? Glycoprotein and collagen fibers. Alright. Then this basement membrane connects epithelial and connective tissue, protects the body against mechanical injury and the pathogen. It is present in the lung alveoli. Once again, let me explain you what is lung alveoli. I hope you remember we had talked about the respiration. When we talked about respiration, at that time we had discussed that human beings are generally having two lungs, and in that the lungs get divided into two bronchi. That bronchi gets divided into many bronchioles, and the terminating part of any bronchioles is this alveoli. What will have this alveoli do? It will, or you can say it is an air sac. The air sac which does all the diffusion of gas. What will this air do? It will take CO2 and it will give oxygen. Alright. This air sacs will take carbon dioxide and it will give oxygen, and ultimately it will help in the gaseous exchange. Now that is happening because of epithelial tissue. Then next, it is intense for absorbing water and digestive food. Even in our intestine, in the small intestine, there are many finger-like projections which are helping in increasing the area, which are called as villi. Okay, villi is present and it will increase the surface area. There are many hair-like structures which are present in the small intestine, and they will absorb all the nutrients and all the other materials. Next, in uriniferous tubules and in removing wastewater. Try to recall, I had taught you where are these uriniferous tubules present. These uriniferous tubules are present in nephrons, which are a part of kidney. Alright, in your class 10, you are going to study about how the nephron is responsible for removing all the waste material. So, over there in nephron, you will have many uriniferous tubules. Alright. Now, that is about this epithelial tissue. Read it. Just read it. Then we'll move on the next type of epithelial tissue. Be quick and read. Now, the types of epithelial tissue. How many types of epithelial tissues are there? There are 5 types of epithelial tissue. Amongst them, right now we are seeing the very first type of epithelial tissue, which is squamous epithelial tissue. This squamous epithelial tissue is again bifurcated into 2 parts, simple squamous and stratified squamous. What is the structure? Once again, these are thin, flat, irregular cells which are closely bonded together. You can see there is no space between them. What is their function? It will protect against any kind of injury, against any kind of pathogens and chemicals. It will help in the secretion of coelomic fluid. Try to recall what was coelomic fluid. The things are done again and again so that you remember it well. There are two layers. Try to recall ectoderm and endoderm. Here the fluid is filled. Here where there is fluid, it is called as xylem. And over here only, that is the function of simple squamous epithelial cell. It will help in the secretion of coelomic fluid, in the excretion and exchange of gases. So, we are knowing that excretion it will be a part of kidney. So here you are having woman's capsule, which is a part of nephron. Try to recall, we had done it. Alveoli, part of lungs. Then xylem. So this is where its location is. Then comes stratified squamous epithelium tissue. It will form the outer layer of the skin. It is found in the buccal cavity, in the pharynx, in the vagina, which is a part of female reproductive system, esophagus, the food pipe which helps to swallow us the food, and in the anus. So, go through this content. After that, we'll go on the next particular type of epithelial tissue, that is columnar epithelial tissue. I hope you have gone through the content. Now, let's move further. Cuboidal epithelial tissue. When they form a thin lining, they are called as stratified epithelium, and they form many layers of the cells. You can see over here how they are arranged on the basement membrane, and normally all are arranged in one particular row. Nucleus cytoplasm that is present in every cell. Moreover, this is the cement substance means it will bind to cells. Where does it help in? What are its functions? It will help in the secretion, excretion, absorption, the formation of gametes. What are gametes? They are the sex cells. And in the mechanical support. Where are they present in? Thyroid vesicles, salivary and pancreatic ducts, germinal layers of sex organs and the sweat glands. Alright. So read the content once again. Just read it. Now let's move on the next type of tissue, which is columnar tissue. You can see over here how is the columnar tissue arranged. Again, they are cube-like cells which are appearing polygonal in the surface view and square in the sectional view. What is their function? It will help in protection, secretion of mucus, and in the absorption of nutrients and water in the intestine. Then coming to its location, it is present in the inner lining of stomach and solely it will help over here. Then in the gallbladder as I talked about you, it is a part of digestive system. Then it is the covering layer of epiglottis. What is this epiglottis? So there is a flip-like structure which is present over here. So, that flip will go either for the windpipe or food pipe, and it is called as glottis and epiglottis. Again, in your class 10, you will study about this content in detail. Alright, right now you have to only memorize this. So, read it once again. Alright. Now the next type of tissue, which is ciliated tissue. They are compactly arranged, you can see. They are very tall, column shaped cells. They have elongated, means little bit bigger one, nucleus, and microvilli, that means the cilia-like structure is seen on the free surface of the cells. So that is about ciliated, and solely it is called as cilia, where it will help in the movement of mucus. Then in cerebrospinal fluid, it is the fluid which is present in the brain. Then it will help in the formation of urine, of sperms, ova and all. So this is where it will help in the movement of all these things. It will help in the movement of urine, sperms, ova and all these things. Where it is present in the sperm ducts, because it will helping in the movement of sperms. Oviduct, it will help in the movement of ova. Okay, sperm duct and oviduct you have already done in your class 8. Okay, the tube-like structure that will carry the sperms from testis to urethra, that is sperm duct. Again, oviduct, you have already done that. It is again the tube which is carrying the ova. Then it is present in the respiratory tract. So read this content once, then we'll move further. Now let's move to the last type of the connective tissue, which is glandular connective tissue. We are knowing that the structure is like this. Cuboidal or columnar, the cells are bearing cilia again on the free surface, and these are modified columnar cells which are formed by enfolding of epithelium. You can see there is a here mucus like structure, and that is the only structure which is bifurcating it as the glandular cell, where it will help in the formation of multicellular secretory glands, which will help to secrete oil, sweat, hormones and enzymes, where it is present in the lining of the gastric glands, pancreas, intestinal glands. Alright, read this. So, this is all about the all types of animal tissue. Friends, animal tissue is quite easy except the last one where you have to learn up a lot. If you will learn properly, then you will not face any kind of problem. And moreover, if you have attended the sessions of epithelial tissue and today's quick recap session, then ultimately it is going to be easy for you, because more number of times the content is repeated, especially the epithelial tissue. It was in the revision session also, it was done bit slowly, while the other one were done bit quickly. So I hope that you have understood all the content that is taught right now regarding the epithelial tissue. Do the homework regularly as in how you are doing. That's all for the content of the day. Thank you so much, my students, for listening to me, and have a very good day. That's all for the content. Bye bye and have a good day. Bye.